Yeah, thanks for joining. As usual, the format as what we have been using for the previous weeks. So I will do a short introduction with a new topic in this case, which is the introduction of the ZDLRA Cloud Archive features. And then we will open up to questions either related to this specific feature or any other question that you may have about the Oracle database backup and recovery. You can, unmute yourself if you want. Just not too many people attending, so you can unmute yourself and speak up, or you can just use the chat to ask questions. So. Let's get started. So with the new topic, the ZDLRA Cloud Archive. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what it is, it's a new feature that's been introduced a week ago, and it provides a perfect solution for long-term retention backup, specifically in regulated environments like finance, but I'd say many other environments have similar regulations that requires this long-term retention backups to be kept for many years, 7 years, 10 years, or longer, and that today use services like RM Mountain for tape vaulting. So cloud storage is a perfect solution for this approach, because customers can move away from tape and especially all the associated operations of managing the rotation. So the fact that you have to take tapes out of the tape libraries, ship them to an offsite secure vault, receive the scratch tapes back that can be put back in the library, etc. It's expensive, both in terms of infrastructure and in terms of operations. Okay? Cloud storage provides you a valid alternative for days where you don't have to manage all this. The recovery appliance protection policies will manage the retention for archive backups the same way it happens today for ZDLRA tape out operations. All the backups sent to archive are encrypted using Harman encryption, basically, and keys provided by an external key manager, which in this case is Oracle Key Vaults. The DBAs can restore those backups directly through the recovery appliance without even knowing that what they are restoring is actually coming from the cloud, or they can restore those backups directly from the cloud archive without a recovery appliance. The backups are stored in the cloud in native Harman format. So from any client that can access the cloud storage, you can just use Harman to restore those backups. Okay, I will give you an overview of how the process works, and then we'll see what the requirements and limitations are with the current release. So the process, right, is first of all, nothing changes on the way the backups are done to the recovery appliance. Today, customers can continue using the method, or they can do specific incrementals with a specific tag if they want to copy to cloud that specific version. So they do regular RA as they are used to do today, backups using the libRA. No encryption is required. So regular backups. When you want to move those backups to the cloud, what happens is that the recovery appliance will contact the OKV server, which is the key manager in this case, and obtain the key to encrypt those backup pieces. And those backup pieces are moved to the cloud in object storage using the same approach we use today for the database backup cloud service. Sorry. As you probably know, there are two tiers of storage available in the cloud. It's regular object storage and archive storage. Both are supported the way this is achieved is using a specific type of object storage container that is called tiering container. It's a specific class for the object storage container. And those tiering containers can have policies attached to them that says, okay, after a certain period of time, data must be moved from object storage to archive storage. And so this happens based on this is optional, obviously. You can just use regular object storage. The advantage of using archive storage is just based on the fact that it's cheaper. So the cost of object storage is substantially cheaper than regular object storage, but you have a penalty when you want to retrieve your data from archive. You have to first restore it back to object storage. And this operation has a delay that can be around 4 hours. Okay, so this is the difference between the two things. One is cheaper, but it has a higher latency, if you want, on restore time. When you want to do a restore from cloud storage using the recovery appliance, again, nothing changes. It's completely transparent for the DBA. In this case, it can just issue a restore, so it connects to the recovery appliance catalog, issue a restore for a command from Arman connected to the recovery appliance. And the recovery appliance, if those specific backup that it's being restored is not on its local disks anymore, it's being moved to the cloud. What it does is just contact the OKV server again, obtain the proper decryption key, and then start the restore from the cloud, or obtains the data from the cloud. If the data were moved into archive, then it's staged back. At this point is where you have a delay that again can be up to 4 hours. And then the data is sent to the recovery appliance. The recovery appliance will decrypt it and send it to the protected database, again in a non-encrypted format. So again, the DBA does not even know that the backup was in the cloud, was encrypted, etc. All this is completely transparent to the DBA. The other option that we have is a restore directly from cloud without the recovery appliance. In this case, obviously, as backups are encrypted, the protected database, or the target server where you are restoring to, must be able to decrypt the backup, and so it needs to access to the OKV server keys, and then can be done in two ways. It can be done by enrolling the protected database directly as a client, if you want, or an endpoint for the OKV server, so it can get the keys from the OKV server, like in this example, where the restore is initiated, the backup is encrypted. So Arman will access the wallet, and the wallet is, in this case, representing an OKV server endpoint. So Arman will get the key to decrypt the backup from the OKV server. The other option is to export the OKV server keys in a wallet, so in a file that then can be copied to the protected database and configured as a local file wallet. In this case, there's no need to enroll the protected database in the OKV server. It's just a file wallet that needs to be copied, configured, and opened like a regular Oracle wallet. So in this example, we have OKV server communication. So OKV server will send the decryption key back. Data can be retrieved from archive, and then Arman will restore it and decrypt it like any regular restore from database cloud service backup. The other option or other use case, if you want, that you have, is what's probably most appealing to customers that are approaching this with the purpose of compliance backup restore. these compliance backups are, those long-term retention backups that are kept just because regulations mandate customers to keep this data, and they need to be accessed, obviously, not for the disaster recovery restore, but just for need to see what the specific database status was at a certain point in time. That can be a year ago, 2 years ago, or longer, or just because there is a court or a lawsuit that judge asked the customer to provide a certain data that was from the past. So in this case, restoring, the way they do it today, it can take months for many customers, and some of them are not able to do that, and then they have very, very big fines to pay because they are not satisfying the requirements of those policies. So what they do today, they have to identify the tapes that they need, and then they have to log a service request for the service providers like Iron Man. They have Iron Man. They ship the tapes back to the customer, and the customers have a number of problems like finding the right drives because the format of the tape, they may not have can be a backup from 5, 6 years, 7 years ago. They may not have those tape format anymore around. And also they need to find the hardware so they have to provision the hardware. The customers have to type those days on the number of servers that they have. Well, they don't have servers lying around, so they have to find the hardware where they can do it. Restore it again. It can take months to customers. So in this case, they can simply do a restore directly in a cloud instance. They can create or provision instance in the cloud, a compute instance, or it can be a VM, can be an Exadata in the cloud, whatever. They only pay for the time they need it, and they do a restore directly from cloud storage into this cloud instance. It's fast. It doesn't require any particular planning in advance, and it's a lot safer for that. So, and in this example, again, the target restore is a cloud instance. And you have the same two options in terms of key management. You can enroll the cloud instance as a client from the OKV server. Even if the OKV server is on premises, there is a way of doing that through SSH tenants, OKV documentation explainer to do that. But you can also use the same method of exporting the keys and in the file wallet and copy the file wallet to that compute instance that you have in the cloud, and you configure it as a wallet, as I said. And it's it's basically the same approach as in the previous use case. Only in this case we are using a cloud instance, and the restore is happening directly into the cloud. So those are the 2 or 3 use cases that I wanted to describe. Again, if you have any questions, you're free to speak up. There are some requirements and some limitations currently. So first of all, the requirement in terms of ZDLRA software, you need the 12.2 ZDLRA software May BSU that was released more or less a week ago. And this is only supported on 12.2. It will not be supported on ZDLRA 12.1.1.18. Oracle Key Vault is also a prerequisite. We don't support other key manager at the moment. Oracle Key Vault is software license, is licensed per server. It can be installed as a virtual machine, or it can be installed on bare metal. It comes as a software appliance, so it's a bootable ISO image. You just run it and it installs on again as a VM or on bare metal servers and the supported hardware. 2 servers are recommended. One can be used for POCs, etc. But sorry, for production, it's recommended to have 2 instances of Oracle Key Vault. And the other thing you need is a subscription to the database backup cloud service. So you have a cloud account that you can use to send your backups to the cloud. So those are basically the 3 things you need. ZDLRA 12.2 software, May PSU, Oracle Keyboard software installed, and a subscription to the Oracle database, so an account that you can use to send your backup to the cloud or database backup cloud service. The limitations we have currently, so is that what I described is completely fully supported on the use cases, restore with recovery plans, without recovery plans, etc. With object storage, the restore without the recovery plans, either on-premise or in the cloud directly, is only supported at the moment from object storage. Sorry, is only supported from object storage. There is some additional work being done on Armand. It's not a ZDLRA recovery appliance software related thing. So the recovery appliance software can remain the same, but we need some changes in Armand to support restore from archive storage. It's the cataloging from archive storage that we have an issue with at the moment. So it's not complete, it's not supported. The documentation so is currently released as a MOS node. This is the MOS node number. You will not find it yet. We're going to release it later today or on Monday. But the initial documentation will be in this MOS node, and the ZDLRA official documentation will be updated at the later time. So this is all I had for the today introductory topic. Again, if you have any questions, let's see if there's anything in the chat. Okay, no questions in the chat. So if anyone has any question, you can ask it now. Okay, so I assume there are no questions.
Marco?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
This is Suman. So I just wanted to, you said that these backups will be stored in the OSS containers. So what if the customer is only having a single node OSS where these backups will be stored then? Because there will be slice in the compute node and they will be storing the backups in the compute node directly, or how they are going to store the backups?
Well, the backups are going to store in object storage. So all the customer needs to use this is the object storage, so a subscription to the Oracle Database Backup Cloud Service that provides them access to the OSS, to Oracle Object Storage Service. That's all they need. If they want to restore in the cloud, obviously they need also either a subscription to the compute service or database cloud, database cloud service, Exadata cloud service, any additional services that they want. But if they only want to restore on premises, either directly or through the recovery plans, then all they need is object storage, so database backup cloud service. If that was your question.
Yeah, that was my question. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Got it.
You're welcome.